how chaotic November was, I'm surprised anything got done. Hey, what's up guys, it's Steph, okay, and today we are here to wrap up November reading and stuff. God, I'm tired. I finally have a day off after Black Friday weekend. It's been horrible. As you may have seen, I did not post a video on Monday because it's been rough. Like, I worked Black Friday through to Monday, like, all very long shifts, and dear God, just dear God. The whole month of November was madness between NaNoWriMo, me really picking up, like, doing more art stuff on TikTok, and just doing more art stuff in general because I ended up abandoning NaNoWriMo to focus more on the artsy things because, of course I did. I can't just stick to one thing. My brain won't let me do that. My hyperfixation won't attach to the thing I want to do. No, it attaches to a freaking adult cartoon that Vizzy Pop put out. That's just how November went. I did, however, get 2 books read, and I'll also mention an honorary 3rd book because I've read it, or listened to it throughout November, finished it on the 1st of December, so it technically kind of counts. This was a real non-fiction November because I read all non-fiction books. Like, these are all, I had a memoir, I had, like, the second one is debatable on whether or not it is considered fantasy or reality, but that is to be debated. And then we have another one that is another factual one that is, yeah. Words are hard, I just got off work, man. The first book I read this month is one that I've been highly anticipating, and it was one of the ones that Barnes & Noble screwed me out of a signed copy of, where they took my money and just didn't give me the books. They said they didn't take my money, but somehow my money was gone, Barnes & Noble, and the account led back to you. I'm still bitter about this, and I'm not letting it go. I read Naturally Tan by Tan France. And I listened to the audiobook because it finally came on loan from the library, and I am so glad I listened to this book because it was so good. And much like the Try Guys audiobook, there was a small snippet where we got a little extra guest and a little extra bonus material from the guest and just interactions that were fantastic. I loved that book. It was so interesting to learn about Tan's experience, like, growing up and how, like, what his life was like before Queer Eye and even during Queer Eye. It was super interesting because I'm super into, like, behind the scenes things. I talk about this all the time. I am, like, a nerd for behind the scenes and going, like, seeing things from a different perspective. I loved this book. It was so good. Like, if you don't like autobiographies, I can't say words. If you don't like autobiographies, you're not going to enjoy it because it is just him talking about himself, nothing extra or anything. Like, it was so cool. He talked about businesses he's put on. He's talked about, like, coming out of high school and going into, like, what he wanted to do for a living and trying to find his place in the world and meeting his husband and just how everything in his world came together to the current point where he's at right now. And I really enjoyed that, and I currently have Jonathan Van Ness's book on hold at the library, so hopefully I'll be able to get their book really soon too and just have it in my ears like I did with Tan's book, and I'm so excited for that. Next up, we have a book that I actually did a video on last month, and that is the Amityville Horror. That is the author, I don't know because I'm a bad booktuber. The Amityville Horror is based off of true events. If you don't believe in the paranormal, you won't believe it. If you do believe in the paranormal, you will believe it. It's a highly debatable thing, and that's what I really, like, enjoy about this book, because it's either you believe it or you think it's a really great work of fiction or a mediocre work of fiction involving ghosts, and it's something that could be so highly debated, and that just makes it even more enjoyable. It was good to get some spooky in right before we jump into ho ho ho, have a holly jolly Christmas. I needed more spooky in my life. I didn't get enough of it in October, and the Amityville Horror filled that little void. It was great hearing about this house over there in Amityville. The Lutzes live in there and having some scary experiences that kicked them out. They lived there for a little over a month before they abandoned the place, left all their stuff inside, and they were out, and they washed their hands of that place. They were done. I still have yet to watch any of the horror movies that were inspired by the Amityville Horror, but like I said, I have read the one book, and it really makes me want to watch these classic horror movies because I just never got to growing up, and now I'm an adult, and no one can stop me, except for the fact of not knowing what streaming service it may be on. There's that. The final book I read, like, right there most of November, beginning of December, is The Most Dangerous Animal of Them All, Chasing My Father Who Is a Zodiac. That last part may have been not right because I'm not looking at the book. I didn't write it down yet because I just barely finished it. But it is about a man who was adopted out in the 60s, 70s, like late 60s, early 70s, and he was born, he was, like, abandoned as, like, a 14-day-old infant. He was adopted, raised by his adoptive parents, and then when he's about 36, he receives a letter from his birth mother. He ends up meeting with his birth mother and discovering that, wow, like, I was adopted, like, can you tell me about my father? And that's where most of the book is. Most of the book is revolving around trying to figure out who his father is his father still alive, and the troubling realization that his father may be the Zodiac killer. It was a super interesting read with so many different, like, ways he got information, how he was trying to, like, go about trying to figure out who his father was, his connections to police officers in San Francisco, and how, like, he suspected cover-ups, and because of who his mother was connected to in the police department, how they were trying to cover up who his father was and keeping him from finding information about his father. And it's just like, whew. It was a crazy and wild read. It has me fairly convinced that his father was the Zodiac killer. I mean, it's an unsolved case. Who knows, man? But, like, the evidence he gave, it was compelling as all heck. If you have a chance to get the audiobook of The Most Dangerous Animal of Them All, like Hunting My Father, Who is the Zodiac, it was a wild read. It was insane, like, the way, I can't even words. It was very compelling, and I think it makes a really good argument for his father being the Zodiac killer, which is horrible to say, but there's a lot of circumstantial evidence, and it's just insane. I guess that also counts as another horror book I read in November, getting ready for December. I don't have many Holly Jolly books on my TBR. But anywho, that is all I've got for you guys today, just talking about the couple books that I read that month. Don't know what I'm going to read this month. Like I said, I'm still kind of focused more on arting and stuff like that. Although, I don't know if I'm going to post my bullet journal video for this month because it isn't the best. And I don't know. I really don't know. I'm concerned, kind of. I may end up posting it because I might just get tired and not be able to film a video for Monday. So, possibly look out for that. Anywho, that's all I've got for you guys today. I will let the end card take it from here, and I'll see you guys next time.